Hello everyone to our newest content update in terms of our indie project, which we still refer to AutoConquest, but to be honest, we already kinda decided to rename it, but I will tell you about this in the next 1 or 2 weeks, so this is not for this episode. Within this episode, I actually want to majorly talk about graphics. So I think so far we did not talk about graphics at all. And I want to talk about loot. I think loot in games is one of the most important issues. I think players in general love to get loot, and if the loot is even randomized, like in games like in Diablo, I think this adds a lot of flavor and a lot of coolness to a game. So I will tell you about both of these things in the upcoming minutes. Let me start with the graphics, and as you have seen within our first couple of videos, we have a lot of drawn graphics, character portraits, the world map, and we actually want to stick to that style, I guess. But in terms of combat, we chose to go for 3D. And now we could try to create AAA level characters. If we would do that, then probably this game would never finish. So what we decided for is to create scenes and characters in low polygon style. And I guess that kind of works. You saw the combat videos maybe in the last weeks. So we had a couple of characters and they were hitting each other. And if you zoom out far enough, I think this low polygon style actually works quite well and looks kind of decent. What didn't look so well was that the backgrounds were just gray and you just saw the hex fields. So not very pleasing to the eye. So we tried to address that issue and we created a couple of background scenes for the combats. And you can see the first background scene right here. So this is a little scene I created. And for those who are curious, I just used the Unity terrain generator. And with the Unity terrain generator, what you can do is you can pull your assets, your 3D assets into this generator. And then you can, for instance, just paint the terrain as I do right here. So this is one of the opportunities you have. The other opportunity is that you just pick up the individual 3D models and place them into the scene. So what I did was basically mix these both techniques. So in some cases, like I said, I used this pencil mode. In other cases, for instance, for these stones, most often I just place them manually one after another. What you cannot see right now is that there is also a lot of grass sprites I used. So basically these are just planes and the texture is painted on these planes. For those I also used the terrain generator. And now let me show you how this actually looks in game, but with a very cool camera angle, I have to say. Here we go. Here we go. You see, I think it looks really decent. We also have a skybox in the background and you can see the grass is swaying and there are some animations. We have pretty cool looking sunbeams and here you see some leaves flying around, or are they even butterflies? I don't know. But I gave my best to make it good looking. I think it kind of succeeded. I kind of like the style. And now you have to imagine that here will be your characters and they will fight each other. So if you saw the last episodes, you will know that the first fight will be against a group of zombies. So just imagine here your group of characters, your start group of characters fighting these zombies. And actually, you will see later on how this currently also looks. This is not just fantasy, but we merged both of these scenes. You will see a bit later. So this is our first scene, and one issue is that it is just too large. It is 100 times 100 meters. And what we try to do is if you put your group in the middle of this scene and then you circle around with the camera, we wanted that you never see the edges of the scene, okay? But still, the scene was way too large, so I created a second scene. And for the second scene, you can see it right here, we made it much smaller. Now, these are our first two scenes which we have, but I have to say that most probably, so this scene is 30 times 30 meters. What we will most probably need will be a scene probably around 50 times 50 meters, and then we will need like 50 scenes for the whole game, I guess. But as you can see here, we have also some props, for instance, a little barn And those of you who have seen the first part of the story, so we uploaded it in one of the other videos, you might know what will happen in this combat scene, what enemies will there to face. Okay, but like I said, it's low polygon. You can see it right here. Everything looks a bit not as clean as, for instance, in some high quality FPS shooters. So we have a little bit of a minimalized art style, I would say. But now I would really like to show you how this all fits together with our current questing pipeline and how this all merges together. And for that, let me switch to our main scene. Let's go. Because now I think the questing cycle is close to completion. We talked about it the last 2 weeks. I hope it's not getting too boring, but you can actually see how much work flows into just this one cycle, even though it's one of the most important cycles. So maybe you remember in the last week, you could get quests via this button, and this is wrong. So this button is, like I said in the last couple of videos, it is just a quest log. The way how you will get quests is, for instance, we have a town hall, and this works now. So you can, someone tells you about a quest, you can say, yeah, I consider to do your quest. You didn't accept it yet because we don't want that you get into a hurry and now I have to send my group and maybe I don't want to do it now. Maybe I want to defend my castle first and then send them. So, but you already have the quest mark on the map. This graphic will of course change as well. Looks really bad, but in general, if you click right here, now the quest menu will open as you know it from the other videos. And you see we have the Wolf's Blood quest, as you also might know, and it will take us 2 turns to go there. And just let me set up a bigger group as last time. Let's go with 5 units, and you can see this time we have 3 Kingsblood with us, so only one synergy is working. And let's go. I think we also changed a little bit of the graphics. As I think the last time this circle was green and the line here was red, so we had some little adjustments. I don't want to go into detail about everything of that stuff because a lot of small stuff changed. Okay, but let's send them, and ta-da! Here we are now in the battle scene, and you see we merged together the battle scene, which I talked about before, with the actual characters. And just that you know, these 5 characters are not just dummy characters. Those are the 5 characters which I selected in the quest, and they all have names. We can also click on them. Here you see this is Rilka and Alra, so they are already responding and they all have their stats. And just to tell you, at the moment they are all level 3 at the moment, so they are kind of low level. But these enemies you see right here, at the moment we don't have enemies, they are just mirrored. So the group you're facing currently is the group you sent out. And of course we will change the graphics and the character models. This is actually something we have in work currently. Veggie is working on that, so hopefully soon we will have models which look more like what you see here in the portraits. Okay, and before I start the combat, you maybe see that these models are also kind of syncing and intersecting with the battle scene. So we could have made the battle scene flat, and we could have drawn out all the objects out of the battle scene, but we said, no, we don't want that. We want uneven terrain. So now we don't have to think in 2-dimensional space, but in 3-dimensional space. And to fix all these issues, we have to have some kind of collision. But this is something we want to fix. And if you would have collision, that would be kind of cool, because then you could, for instance, create a wall of your front fighters. See right here, and then you could put behind the archers. And for instance, if here was a tree, then you could make it even harder for enemies to attack your ranged fighters, right? So this is how everything will work. And now you see what I was talking about before. You see here you can actually see the borders of the map. So like I said, 100 meters times 100 meters was too large for a scene, but now 30 times 30 meters is probably too small. So what I will have to do now is to adjust this battle scene and make it a little bit larger. So in my opinion, 50 times 50 meters should be the right size. So we learned it now. We miscalculated it, but it will be it will be better now, and I think 50 times 50 will be our standard size now. Okay, but now let's start the fight. And you see that this works as before. Couple of things have improved. For instance, if I click on this character, you see the health upgrades, not in real time, but when I click on it, you will see now it changes. Okay, so these are just some small things which improved. But I think it is really cool to see the characters now walking around in actual battle scenes and not on some ugly hex fields. Looks a lot better. And I really, even though it is low polygon, I really like the art style. I think maybe if we create a Kickstarter and we get millions of money, and I highly doubt that, then we can exchange all the graphics by high polished 3D models. But I actually would already be happy with that style and with that quality of 3D models. I really like it. Okay, and here we go. I think I clicked it away before. I was talking too much, but here you see that we actually integrated an item generator. And like I said before, this was actually something I didn't think about before too much, but Dominic said we really have to have an item generator in our game. It adds so much fun, and people just enjoy getting random loot. And if you have a quest and you are happy, like, wow, I got the perfect item. And you see right here, we now can choose between 3 rewards. This will not always be 3 rewards. But these are, like I said, randomly generated items. For instance, here this helmet, it gives health, crit chance, 0% crit chance. I'm not sure if we should display it if it's really 0. Maybe we will change a little bit of the about the item generator, but like you can see, it works. And it's not just display, but I can click, for instance, on this amulet. Let's take it. Let's accept this reward, and let's return to our base. And we can now, for instance, start a new quest. Okay, I just have to find where it is, like here. Okay, and now you can see this amulet I just got. It is in our inventory, and I can also assign it to players. So it is all working as it is supposed to be. And I just want to show you, I will do a little cut now in this video, a second cut, because I want to show you that you won't only get green or gray items, but the quality of items will scale with the level of your followers. And for that, I will edit the follower stats. You can see currently we hard code all the stats, so they are currently level 3. Let's, for instance, make them all level 8. Okay, and I will do this, and in a couple of seconds you will see what reward we will get with a higher level group. Okay, and here we go. As you can see, now we get the real good stuff. Here we have legendary gloves of quickness, the heroic necklace of quickness, or the heroic hammer of bloodletting. So crazy stuff with super good stats. And actually we also have these ancient weapons, which also will have a little bit of flavor text, so they won't be randomly generated, and they will be, yeah, comparable to the legendaries, for instance, in Diablo. And yeah, that's it. That's how we hope to keep the game also a little bit fresh. I think it would be very boring if you would have this one walkthrough with your perfect group and then with the perfect item setups, the perfect synergies. No, we want to randomize it all a little bit, that if you play the game and even if you replay it, you will always have to face different challenges. Now, so let's select that and let's keep on doing. Now I just want to talk about just some very minute changes. I'm pretty much done with everything I wanted to tell you, but as you can, for instance, see here, we put a light source on the cities. I think it looks kind of cool. The idea is, for instance, if you are in the rumor system, this is another system, I can see it right here, right in the tavern, and if you drink, then it does not work yet, but then the time should go on, so that it should get darker, and then these cities should lit up their candles and their torches. Okay, then also we introduced a little bit of post-processing. For instance, if you go a little bit down here and in our story, there is a barrier around this land, and this barrier protects the land from all the dangers which come from outside, from all the energies, the ancient yeah, powers which float around there, right? So, and if you go more and more to the south, okay, it was a bit sharper right now, but as you can see, the lightning got more dull. Had a little cut because I clicked somewhere where I shouldn't have clicked, but maybe this will change. But just that you see that we have some post-processing now also on our ways. And just to mention it, maybe it's a bit boring, but we changed our rendering pipeline to the universal rendering pipeline. So it's a bit, so we have more capabilities in terms of shaders and in terms of graphics. Something I really like, because I'm writing the story mostly, is once again about the dialogue system. And I told you that last time I told you that we can now, depending on which dialogue plays, we can play effects and we can jump to a location, stuff like that. And what we can do right now is, let me activate it. We can also switch the music, and I think I told it last time as well, but we didn't have the music yet. But now we have it, and I just want to give you a glimpse of it because I really like it. This is, as you know, the start dialogue, but after we click it, we will jump to the evil guys, and we just use the placeholder for the evil guys. The placeholder is Boris, the character I draw, so you see the quality difference between something I draw and something a real artist draws. But what you will hear then is the switch in music, and we'll give you a couple of seconds to enjoy the music. And the music was created by Sara Alleirs. You can, I will link her channel in our description. And with that, I think I'm out. So, like I said, enjoy the music for a little bit. And until the next time.